Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Nation newspaper. The major story here says federal government unfolds Forex tax jobs investment policies. Federal government unfolds Forex tax jobs investment policies. And the writer here says that 260 taxes to be slashed to single digit, merging of BDCs, Forex apps, dealers into official Forex market. And the key points, it's showing a breakdown here of the various Forex tax jobs palliatives being put in place by the policies. For Forex, we have expansion of official Forex markets to BDCs, stoppage of black market transactions, sanctions for transactions outside official markets, stoppage of speculative Forex demand, hoarding, digitization of Forex regime. Another one, for the tax, we have relief for private sector, payment of taxes on foreign currency denominated transactions in Naira for local businesses, withholding tax regulations, reforms, elimination of multiple taxes. And for jobs, we have removal of obstacles to global employment for home-based Nigerians. And then for palliative, freezing of value-added tax payment on diesel for 6 months, waiver on CNG conversion, and renewable energy items. And the president has gone ahead to say that the implementation of these policies has to come up as quickly as possible. Then another story here, oil thieves deploy CCTV mortar launchers along pipeline routes. And then PCL security, we won't relent in battle against criminals. The president had given matching orders when he came into office to that the matter of oil theft be addressed head-on and as quickly as possible so Nigeria can generate more revenue. Now, Akeredolu receives Sanwo-Olu, Makinde, Abiodun, Oyebanji. This is stemming from the anxiety that has stemmed out of the health status of the Ondo State governor, as well as the protest by some PDP youths asking for his whereabouts, and he has met with the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Makinde Abiodun, Oyebanji, and others who paid him a courtesy visit. Now, another story here, U.S. court rejects request for FBI reports on Tinubu. And another story, land racketeering rocks FCTA. EFCC chair orders staff members to declare assets. Senate defends 160 million SUVs for National Assembly members, saying they were buying vehicles that they could use along Nigerian roads. All right, you find all the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper. To the Punch newspaper now. The major story here says multiple taxation. Tinubu panel asks government to drop 190 taxes. OPS blames state. A panel okays 10 levies, says 200 taxes burdensome. Lobbies National Assembly states. President endorses tax reforms. Panel to address the Federal Executive Council. Federal Inland Revenue Service pledges implementation. And there's a pictures of the members of the Presidential Committee on Advisory on Tax Reform headed by Taiwo Oyedele in a picture with the president after the meeting. Now, and the story on the down corner here, DSS nabbed suspected terrorist's wife, recovers 150 AK-47 rifles. Now, a Lagos cancer doctor, Olaleye, backs live jail for rape. Slain Nigerian students, Philippines police file murder case against suspects. At the top corner, we have Senate probes 11 trillion naira refinery repairs, summons carry. EFCC chair orders staff to declare assets. Reps fault CBN's Forex ban lift. NECA kicks. All the details on the front page of the Punch newspaper. To the Nigeria News Direct now. The major story here, moribund refineries, Senate to probe 11.35 trillion naira spent on repairs in 13 years. And we have Sanwo-Olu Commission's vehicle assembly plant in Lagos as first 2,000 cars hit market. And that is the picture you see there on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as well as the Consul General of the People's Republic of China, who were in Lagos to commission, and the Commissioner for Transportation, the chairman of the distributor of the motors in question, and they were taking a picture, and this was during the completion ceremony of the first 2,000 cars that were made by that motorist, or motors rather. You find the details of the story on the front page of Nigerian News Direct. And then the story here says, Nigeria now home for investments for tech startups. Minister is speaking. That's Bosun Tijani. And then we have 160 million SUVs. Lawmakers deserve it because of maintenance and bad roads. The Senate is speaking. NCDMB leads other MDAs in efficiency transparency. All right, you find all of the details of the story on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. To Salient Times now, Senate probes 11.35 trillion naira expenditure on moribund refineries. Another story here, ABU student allegedly lures teenager for a same-sex relationship, kills him. My boss deceived me to donate my kidney over empty $20 million promise. A driver is saying this. And reps invite CBN governor over FX ban lifted on 43 items. Sanwo-Olu, other Southwest governors visit Akeredolu in Ibadan. A Anambra woman becomes viral sensation after welcoming nonoplets. That's 9 babies. Another story here, Benue man stabs wife to death, says she's no longer submissive. You find all of the details of the stories on the front page of Salient Times. Today's Nigeria newspaper now, 11.35 trillion naira wasted on repair of moribund refineries. Moribund refineries, says Senate, on this probe from 2010 to 2023, as 52 reps call for Kyari, NMPCL's GCU sack over poor handling of subsidy removal. And the reps invite CBN governor over plans to lift Forex restriction on 43 items. Disaster. FEMA saves 4,880 lives, properties worth 99.3 million naira in 9 months. And then the story, rape court sentences Lagos doctor Olaleye to life imprisonment. All right, we'll step on toes. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike wants ground rent the Forters. Or the details of the story on the front page of this Nigerian newspaper. And to the Nigerian Tribune now, the major story, a Senate justifies purchase of 160 million naira SUVs, says Nigerians should examine lifestyles of ministers instead. And they want to probe 11.35 trillion naira spent on refineries maintenance since 2010. Another story here, reps invite CBN governor over lifting of Forex ban on 43 items to probe Benue bank robbery. Nigeria to vaccinate 7.7 million girls against leading cause of cervical cancer. And Southwest governors visit Akeredolu in Ibadan. Ondo Deputy Governor tackles Assembly over letter to CJ, tells CJ to disregard letter to investigate him. Now, federal government unveils plans to reduce collectible taxes, says Nigerians burdened by over 200 taxes. Now, Clark to Tinubu, amend NDDC Act to exclude Imo, Abia, Ondo as non-Niger Delta states. And this story has been generating reactions, questions as to if these states do not have solid minerals and oil in them, why is he asking for them to be removed or excluded from the NDDC Act? Another story here says court sentences Lagos doctor Olaleye to life imprisonment for raping wife's niece. U.S. court denies urgent request for release of Tinubu's dossier. Okay. On First newspaper, the big story there is captioned Rep summon CBN governor for lifting Forex ban on toothpicks and others, warning that action may ruin local economy. Well, it comes just as the Senate is justifying the exotic vehicles for members, saying Nigerian roads are bad. Other stories there on First News, British envoy expresses concern over Imo Bayelsa Kogi elections. On tax reforms, FG to streamline more than 200 taxes to less than 10. EFCC chairman orders staff to declare assets, and Peter Obi of the Labour Party is quoted as saying the rule of law is threatened once people lose faith in the judiciary. Business Days next. Inside the 14 billion naira fraud crippling Nigeria's payment ecosystem. That's the big story, and should make an interesting read. Calls grow for private sector investments to drive SDGs, and still on Monday's landmark judgment regarding the P&ID controversy, the court is saying, or there is an update that Nigerians are demanding probe. Excuse me. All right, now to Nature News. The big story, well, some of the stories on the front page of Nature News is on Governor Abiodun declaring a state of emergency at the Onyo Dam. NDDC reiterates commitments to youth empowerment, sustainable development. FG approves $3.45 billion World Bank loan for electricity. FG plans affordable homes for low-income earners. And here in Lagos, Loma shuts Alaba International Trade Fair Market for environmental offenses. Daily Independent is next. The big story there is ahead of the Imo Kogi Bayelsa Goba polls, with court orders delaying printing of sensitive materials. That's according to INEC, who adds that violence is threatening conduct of elections in these states, and parties are urging INEC to use the polls to deal with confidence deficit. Lagos Governor Sanwo-Olu inaugurates automobile assembly plant. CAC, that's the Corporate Affairs Commission, uncovers 189 fake companies defrauding Nigerians. Senate justifies purchase of SUVs for lawmakers, urges Nigerians to focus on ministers instead. Leadership is next. Bayelsa Kogi Imo election materials not ready, says INEC, and goes on to blame litigations and intra-party crisis, urge or restore public trust in electoral system. That's according to the Inter-Party Advisory Committee. And the CDS is also, that's the Chief of Defense Staff, is warning stakeholders against violence. The Naira depreciates further to 1,235 Naira to the dollar in parallel market. That's also on the leadership. And NNPP tackles former Governor Ganduje over Kano foreign scholarships. Over now to the Voice of Liberty. Nigerians to pay 1,500 Naira per kilogram for cooking gas as depot price hits 16 million Naira. This is according to marketers. U.S. court refuses to order FBI, CIA to release files on Tinubu. And the president is also quoted as saying, "We've tackled challenges head-on, soon we'll begin to reap rewards." On the Niger Delta region, Chief Edwin Clark, elder statesman, demands the removal of Abia State as well as Imo and Ondo from the NDDC. And terrorists break into Kaduna Mosque, kill Imam. Over now to the blueprint. Troops hit terrorists' Mina residence, recover 150 rifles, 20 rocket propellers, others too. Suspect escapes into forest, 7 family members arrested. Operation lasted for hours. We couldn't sleep, they say residents. FCT doctors laments proliferation of organ transplant centers. Finally is the Daily Trust. And the big story there is captioned War on Gaza, as United Nations Secretary General accuses Israel of violating international humanitarian law. And the Daily Trust goes on to say, to talk about calls on why
parties must oppose anti-Semitism. That's nations must oppose anti-Semitism as well as anti-Muslim bigotry. Israeli ambassador calls for Guterres' resignation as the UN Secretary General, and Israeli police shut down Al-Aqsa Mosque. There's a picture story there of a man, a Palestinian man, mourning as civil defense teams and residents search for people trapped in the debris after an Israeli airstrike was said to have hit the Al-Shati refugee camp. Veronica.
All right. I believe that's much we can take with regards to the newspaper headlines this morning. An array of stories that for you to read, so you can pick up any of the papers for any of the stories you find interesting.